Welcome back, my business bestie. I hope that you're well. Today we're talking about hiring, specifically the exact hiring order that helped me scale to a 7-figure group practice. Are you ready? There is method to the hiring madness. Before we start though, if you're watching on YouTube, yes, I'm on YouTube, by the way. If you want to see my face, I wanted to show you my hair. just a quick side note, okay? Business bestie to business bestie. First, do you notice how shiny it is? Pretty shiny, right? Well, let me just back up. I'm 45 and I'm going through pre-menopause. Anybody going through it right now? It's a whole thing. It's like going through hormonal teenagehood. And what happens is you actually can start losing your hair, which happened to me about a year ago. And I have a naturopath, I have all the things. And I thought I went on HRT, hormone replacement therapy. Hit me up on Instagram if you want to talk premenopause stuff. I was losing my hair, but then I recently found out, guys, for 1 year, I was losing my hair. If you look at my Instagram videos, it was not shiny. It was so brittly. I'm like, what is happening? Is this like what 40s are like? And then I did a test. I did a vitamin test and I found out I was toxic. My level was 600 of vitamin B1 and B6, which can create all sorts of things. I was getting numbness. I was getting hair loss. I was losing my mind. It was really hard. I didn't know what the heck was happening to my body. It's not premenopause. I was taking too many vitamins. And I'm talking to you, my high achieving therapist, because I know you're a lot like me. I do too much of everything. Sometimes my massage therapist will just be like, okay, Nicole, I told you to go home because your back was hurting and do like 10 push-ups, but then you did 50 push-ups and then you made your back worse. I tend to do everything to the extreme. So the reason I wanted to tell you this is you might actually be taking too much vitamins. It's like too much of a good thing. I know it's a random topic, but because I had to tell you, if you're anything like me, I take everything to the extreme and it can actually lead to something really bad, like losing your hair. But let's get into hiring. There's an order. Did you know that your first hire, jot this down, stop the car, or say it out loud so you remember, or tell Siri, should be what's called a mini me. Mini me. Let me tell you why, and then I'll tell you what the heck I mean. When I was 27, I fell in love and I moved to Russia. Remember I told you I was too much? Yeah, that's a perfect example of me. I was in love. I love hard. And I'm so glad I did it because I had got to see the world and I had no kids obviously at that point. And at that time though, I was in solo practice for a few years and I had 30 or 40 a caseload of, they weren't all seeing me at the same time, but they had seen me at some point. And I just gave my practice for free. I was not business savvy to another therapist. I found someone, she was willing to take it. I kind of knew her. And I said, okay, here's all my clients. I'm in love. I'm going to be whisked away. I don't know if I'll be back. We're going to travel the world together. And I left. Guess what happened? Not one of them stayed. What did I do wrong? Guys, not one of them stayed. Here's why. She wasn't a mini me. Please don't hire your opposite because they will not stay. I am a big personality. I'm no bullshit, super direct. I'm quite intuitive in my sessions. I'm quite casual. I'm a psychologist or was before I retired, but I'm not super clinical when most psychologists are, okay? I attract clients who like that vibe. That was my vibe, AKA brand. Well, I don't know what I was thinking. It was my 27-year-old brain, but this person who I replaced myself with, and this applies to you because guess what? Your first hire, you're moving a lot of your clients over, or those inquiries who expect you are not seeing you, right? They're seeing them. She was timid. She was quiet. She talked slow. All these are good things. They're just the opposite of me. She was more passive in her approach. I'm very results driven in my sessions. She wasn't. We even looked different in demographics. I don't know what I was thinking. She was in her 50s. I was 27. People are looking for a version like you. This is who your mini me is. They match you in 4 things. 1, energy. Number 2, personality. If you're extroverted and you have a certain like directness, they're going to match that personality. Not just directness, but it's like how you show up in a room. Think of it this way. If I called your partner right now or your best friend, how would they describe you? What would be the top 3 things that they would say? You want to make sure those personality traits are also in that person. Number 3, modality. Naturally, definitely make sure they do your modality. Just your first hire. Okay, just your first hire. I'm going to explain more in a sec. And lastly, demographic. 27-year-olds want to see other 27-year-olds. I'm a mom with kids that are 9. If I'm in therapy, which I am, she's a mom. That's so important to me. Sometimes she'll even self-disclose little things about motherhood. I love that. Research just tells us people want to see people like them. So now I want you to think, you know that therapist on your team that has low retention? Is it because maybe they're not your mini-me? This is more important that it's your first hire. Now, if you have a group practice and you're like, I'm on hire 15 or hire 8, that's okay. Maybe your next hire needs to be a mini-me. The truth is, when they land on your website and you're so ready to stop hitting the ceiling in your income and you're so ready to have somebody else take your wait list or at least your overflow and work a little bit less, they expect a similar vibe, no different than going to a restaurant in your town. I'm sure you've done this. You have a favorite chain restaurant you go to, and then you go to actually Domino's. I'm thinking like what's Canadian and American. Domino's is perfect. I love Domino's pizza. Random, I know. And this has happened to me. We order Domino's. That's our go-to in Toronto. When I visit my sister in Trenton, a couple hours away, I order Domino's and I expect a similar thing. If you don't give them that, they just will not stay. I'm sure the people who sat down in front of this perfectly good therapist, but the opposite of me, were a little annoyed with me, actually. Like, what is happening? What? This is nothing like the experience that I'm used to with Nicole. And this matters the most if you plan on moving current clients over. When I scaled into a group, I was seeing clients for 15 years. I had a huge caseload. I moved a lot of them over, but I made sure I moved them to a mini-me and it was seamless and they stayed. Okay, congratulations, you did it. She's great, he's great, they're great. You are gonna love them because honestly, the truth is, we like people who are like us. That's why you hang out with your best friend, because they're a lot like you, right? Your second person now that you're gonna hire is a VA. Here's what I want you to do. Take the cash flow from your first hire and you're going to take your percentage because you're going to keep, let's say they're fully licensed. You're going to keep what? You're going to keep 40%. You're going to pay them 60%, pay your expenses. And whatever you have left, I want you to now invest in a virtual assistant. The reason I say virtual at first is this applies to bricks and mortar and virtual people. I believe your first and mid hire should actually be a VA. A lot of these VA agencies, what I really love that I did not have, one, find the ones that work with therapists. If you want to know my favorite, hit me up on Instagram. I'll tell you all about them. This did not exist at all, like years ago. But most importantly, it's so frustrating to have an admin that you hire on Indeed leave. Very, very overwhelming because they're gone. And guess what lands on your lap? All the things. Most of these agencies, double check with them. If your virtual assistant leaves, they actually replace them for you. Seamless and done. And a lot of them are trained in our practice management softwares. Can you imagine? They come trained. You don't have to do any of that. So my favorite is Ginger Desk, actually. I'll link that in the show notes for you. If you have any questions, just message me and we'll chat more. Here's why though. So you have your mini-me, it's seamless, you really like them, clients are staying, you take that cash, you invest it in a VA, they will help you grow faster because you've outsourced the overwhelm, you've removed the minutia, You're less overwhelmed now because you're not doing all the annoying things that, number one, you're not good at, probably you don't like. We don't like paperwork. That's why we went into the talking business. Let me just talk to people for a living and help them and make money that way. Those in my program, my members, it's been over 1,000 therapists across North America that I've helped scale into a successful group practice. Those who hire a VA very early on in their scaling scale twice as fast. Literally, I see this in my program all the time. So if you want to grow faster, you're going to take all the stuff that you don't want to be doing and you're going to delegate it. You're going to automate it. And then you're going to pay that person max like $25. It's a bit more sometimes with these VA companies because you can bill way more. And of course, even more if you're scaling your practice. I have a few episodes, I'll put them in the show notes for you, about VAs and the nitty gritty and what you should actually delegate to them. Because a lot of us, I hear from you, my members saying, okay, I don't actually know what to give them. But can you imagine they deal with all of the inquiries? They're doing the follow-ups. They're taking care of the therapist. Like it's all off your plate. Oh, that was the truth. That's really what freedom is. Imagine a life that you get to choose. That's freedom. You have the autonomy of how your day looks, and you only do the things that you love and that you are good at. So you've hired the mini-me. You have the VA. Things are getting done. It's not you doing them. And now you're focusing on the engine. You're focusing on the marketing and you're growing. So now you need to hire again. Nicole, who's my second hire? Who should it be in terms of a therapist? Well, I suggest you go to your inquiries. Don't guess. The market will tell you who your next hire should be. What I mean is people are calling your beautiful VA. Guess what? If you're working with me, I give you all the tracking sheets. They're tracking every single inquiry, what people are asking for. Go to your inquiry sheet. If you don't have this, it should be in your practice management software. Are you using JNAP? It's all tracked in there. I'll give you a coupon for that. I'm the coupon queen today. I'll throw it in the show notes. You're going to go to your inquiries. Don't guess. It's funny, in coaching the other day, someone said, you know what? I think my next hire is a child therapist. And I said, okay, let's check. Because sometimes our vibes are wrong. And they went in there and they said, oh, it's couples and we charge more for couples. So our revenue is way more. So I want you to look at the inquiries, or better yet, in Jane, there's an option to go to, I think it's called the sales report. Jot this down. You can categorize them by revenue. This is specific for group practice owners because you offer many different types of therapy, many different services, and you have many different, let's say you have multiple therapists. You're going to have data. Go into your practice management software, look at what is the most popular thing that we offer, and then offer more of that and hire and lean into more of that. But if you've never hired before, except you're going to hire your mini-me first, then you're going to hire a VA. The third one should be go to your inquiries, look at the data. Or if you're like, honestly, Nicole, I don't have a lot of data, I can't. Your next hire, your next therapist hire should be a couples therapist. Couples therapist. Here's why. When the couple comes in, depends what modality. I did couples therapy, so it was easy for me to supervise this person. If you don't do it, you're going to hire a fully licensed couples therapist. I love EFT, Emotion Focused Therapy, by Sue Johnson. She's also Canadian, which is pretty cool. She passed away though, just random. Did you know that? It's like so heartbreaking. I heard that recently when I was talking to Pessy. I have a relationship with Pessy, and like I literally on the call with them almost started crying. I was like shocked. Anyway, not sure if you knew that, but I like the EFT model, or even if you use Gottman, but with EFT, usually when the couple comes, you have one client with two people. But guess what? If you use EFT, they're both going to do their own individual therapy. Oh, wow. That one client turned into 3 clients because partner A has trauma. Almost every partnership, of course, brings a history with them. So she's going to get therapy with one of your future therapists, and then the other one will eventually get therapy with the other one. I know you haven't hired them yet, maybe, but do you see how fast you can scale? But what about little Jimmy, their 5-year-old that's constantly being impacted by their fighting? Now that couple is literally 4 clients. Yes. You're going to hire your mini-me. You're going to hire a virtual assistant. Then you're going to hire a couples therapist. Then after that, you're probably going to end up hiring more individual therapists to see both couples, like both sides of the couples, the partners, and then eventually even a child therapist. This is why I wasn't niched. Even though my clinic was called the Toronto Psychotherapy and Neurofeedback Center, they changed the name, by the way, after I sold it, but that's what I called it. We did neurofeedback. We did a lot related to ADHD in the brain and trauma. But I decided, and I want you to ponder this, I wanted to see the whole family. It was a dream to walk down the hall and hear the couple in one room, not actually hear them, but like know that they're in one room, and then see little Jimmy getting neurofeedback down the hall. And he just came in for a psycho ed assessment. It was really beautiful. There are pros and cons of niching. What worked for me is, and it's hard as in a group, if you really want to be 55 therapists like I was, or like, big like that, it really is hard to niche and to stay super niched. I had multiple niches within a big clinic, and it became easy for the family doctors. All of them just said, go here. They do assessments and neurofeedback in every type. They see all populations. Just go there. It becomes easy for them to be like, this is the place for all of your mental health needs. If scaling feels scary to you, just start with your mini-me. You don't have to do it fast like I did. Just start there. And then when you have the cash flow, it will guide your next step to hire the VA. And then when you feel less overwhelmed and you're like, wow, this is amazing, I can focus on growth now, then you go with your inquiry data. That's your next hire based on what you're seeing people are asking for. Or if you don't know, you're going to hire a couples therapist. It literally just flowed like that. I want you to know I was exhausted as a mom. I had 2-year-olds. I did not plan to just really hear this, because I feel like a lot of you are me. I did not plan to grow. I honestly had kind of no goals. I'm like, I don't know, I'll just grow. And it flowed, especially if you're hanging out with the right people, connecting with the right energy. It becomes this snowball effect that literally pulls you with it. There's an ease that happens. And then you just go with the flow. You go with the flow. And before you know it, you're like, oh, wow, I have 7, I have 14, I have 24. I want to leave you with this. If you don't start a group practice, somebody else will. Way back, I was referring out children and families, referring them all out, didn't have any referring. And I was sending them all to the same person, a trusted person that I knew did good work. And then one day she contacts me and guess what she said? I'm starting a group practice. So this was when I was in solo. I was referring out all the time. And literally in that moment, I thought, I just built her group practice with my referrals. What the heck am I doing? It's just fear. All that is between you and this beautiful life that is literally waiting for you with open arms, is just fear. And it was in that moment that I realized, damn, well, I can do it because I just grew her practice, that I said, I'm all in. One day, I hope you breathe in and fully just say out loud, because you are that powerful, I'm all in. And then, as Ralph Emerson said, the universe conspires to make it happen. I'm so proud of you. You're working so hard, and I'll see you next week.